Capricorn New Moon team, how are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Good? Oh, so many thoughts, downloads, different initiatives, different truths, all leading to the same truth that we're all, whatever. So, I think we're just going to start off with the initial message of the Capricorn New Moon. I've kind of just been in such an emotive space all day today. Just feeling like January there's just always so much to do for me in January that I'm excited about. So, let's see what the message of the Capricorn New Moon is. Holy shit. Okay. So, of course, we're talking about it. 5 of Swords, 3 of Cups. I know many of you don't know, like on the Instagram stream, on the Instagram archive, I, did a full address from me as the CEO of Tethered Studios to all of us, giving this year's official statement and, incentive about our reflections as a studio on what we're going to be participating in today as we recognize and remember the birth of Martin Luther King Jr. We honor the life that he lived, and we also honor the atrocities that affected that life's longevity. When I look at the Capricorn New Moon as being 5 of Swords, this is extremely important for us to really think about times where, a lot of times we talk about the 5 of Swords being in this like sort of lose-lose situation, whereas when spiritual truths are pitted against one another, it's kind of the catch-22 of the 5 of Swords and the 5 suit in general. There's so much comparative energy that goes into the 5 suit that tells you we have to transcend comparison. We have to transcend the ways in which we think someone has to go in order for there to be abundance. Do you get what I'm saying? Or where we might sacrifice ourselves and our truth in order to have some other incentivizing gain. So from what I see, the Capricorn New Moon is finally calling judgment on is the ways where we created partnerships with karmic third-party energies that ultimately the 5 of Swords was where it's in your awareness now what the ask is. The awareness says, well, this is just the place where I cut myself in order to make room for a misaligned energy in my story. So do you see where that doesn't really serve anybody? Because this could be affecting the people that you make deep partnerships with in work, love, sex relating to anyone, in your family, like whatever it may be, how you're building up your life and the way that it's connecting. But again, because we're just talking about the Capricorn, the new moon, really asking you to make the edits to the things that are misaligned, to the company that we keep, that truly is in fact unable. All of the cups are close to you. So these are partnerships we go into where the renewals don't come back. We may pour into these things, but when it comes to do these guests show up at your party with a glass of Trader Joe's $2 chuck for the dinner to contribute, or do they show up with nothing? And I feel like, there is just a very sharp energetic clarity that comes from this sort of realization of the places where we are in those sort of lose-lose contracts with self. Because again, they really just reverberate the ways in which originally upon the contract in and of itself, I sacrificed my spiritual truth in order to connect or to fraternize or to be in union with karmic party energy, karmic connectivity. What makes something karmic is that there is no divine flow. Yeah? Meaning it's misaligned for you. The cup is not open. Let's see oh my God, we're talking about the 5-5 energy. Look what's crossing. The fucking 5 of Wands. Y'all, oh my God, 5-5-5. Okay, not to be fucking dramatic, but this is where we're at, y'all. This is truly where we're at. And it's 500 right now as we say this. The 5 frequency is like ripping through the collective. Dennis is on page 5 of his book. So Spirit is really having us at this time, at this Capricorn New Moon. I mean, it can't be any plainer than this, right? This whole echelon, this whole reality, I'm locked outside of internal guidance because I am at a crossroads of this You know, this is Capricorn New Moon is allowing us to take ownership for the ways in which we have created win-lose dynamics for ourselves, right? There's no more saying the life that I'm living is okay if I get nothing out of it. That's not the truth. And I think this is just the confrontation of all of that energy at one time for so many reasons. Largely because what I really believe the Capricorn New Moon really does in a sobering way is it shows you the entire structure that it like dumps in front of you like a pile of materials. And whether or not you're able to get shit shaking with the fucking sack of materials that were dumped in front of you, Capricorn New Moon will tell you whether or not you're anywhere close to where the divine needs you, because the divine is giving you materials that you should you have been on your ascension timeline, would have been ready to build. So in certain ways, this is also a lot of energy of like not being ready for shit, and then therefore it just kind of being a clusterfuck. Like again, you're not, you know, whether you're entering into this month unready, not ready for what the winter requires of you, because again, we're being asked to enter the year of the horse in the middle of the winter, right? So when all of these new renewals happen, we're going to be asked to go mad fast in something that is juxtaposed to a maybe more extremist climate. Are you ready to do all of that, right? This is kind of the conversation I just feel so deeply in my bones, but I also really feel like many of you too, many of the things that are being triggered up are those victimhood narratives where you tell yourself, I'm unable to rise to the occasion, something prevents me from living the way that I really want to or in alignment with what I want. And at this point, I just feel like Capricorn is doing the Capricorn thing. And it's like, bitch, is that really the truth? You know? I mean, it's like, I just get that there was this particular viciousness, especially with this last week, where many people were channeling their aggression because, you know, I was having so many people talk about one of the issues with stagnant energy. Part of the reasons why, like, many of you can't let yourself get into the boredom that you get into with your real lives that you're building, because boredom does result in an abhorrent amount of stored energy. Boredom really does boredom turns into anger. So, you know, it's one of the things that we talk about my husband's father. Like, one of the things about him, it's like, you know, a lot of times my critiques about, like, participate in the marriage you have or participate in the relationships you have or be more active with your life. Don't just come home and watch your YouTube subscribers. That can't be the only thing we do. Why would I say things like that? Most of the times it's because usually when his anger is ready to come out, he doesn't have control over it, and he doesn't even understand that it's even anger that's releasing from him. He has no awareness that, like, the vibration you're giving to someone off top, just because it's been such a routine. Again, these routines that we tell ourselves are like, I'm achieving something or whatever, but reality, you're just like Five of Swords. Somebody's losing, usually you. You're competing and comparing yourself to other things, and you're also locking yourself out of doing anything productive for yourself. All of this energy, 555, creates anger. It creates rage. It creates whatever. And mind you, not more than the average amount of rage, but the problem with you girls is because you're not moving, you don't have anywhere to put it that's appropriate. So it does mean you will be walking around taking sacrifices at least once a day in your fucking jobs. Because people don't know that when you go home, there's this level of stagnancy within, because stagnancy results in that expiring potential. It's expiring every moment that's passing. So many of us are dealing with this feeling right now from you weren't ready for the year of the snake, you weren't ready for the year of the ox, you weren't fucking ready for the year of the monkey, you weren't ready for the fucking year of the rat, you weren't ready for any of these motherfucking years since the 2020s have started, mind you, right? So we've been behind every fucking time. It's not just like the snake is the hardest fucking year. You fucking remember the water tiger? That shit was fucking humbling. That nigga is ferocious. I mean, like, y'all don't even remember some of these, you know, these vibrations. I remember 2022 like a motherfucker. Like, them archetypes are hard, regardless. Right, 2020, I mean, the survival mode. There were so many different archetypes that we could say have their challenges or come with what they're going to expect of you. But again, you know, I think the real issue here is the confrontation of all of that. Wow. Because what is coming down is a sword of truth. And I know for myself, I'm in alignment with this Ace of Swords. That has to come down and has to cut it now. Somebody has to say, because one of the things that comes with healing is there will come an era where you heal, you set your boundary, and then the next part is like not caring about how they're going to have a falling out about what you just did. That's where many of us are activating into now, which is that new muscle where there is still required work in letting the truth ripple. Because this is about saying, I don't give a fuck what this truth having to come down stirs up, because it's good chaos. I don't care if you overhear me saying the truth, right? And on MLK Day, what a beautiful message, because I don't care. This is about Stop. This is about people. The truth that comes down says you're not a victim. These people will tell you life is harder for us. That's why we can't stabilize. That's why we have to be here outside in inclement weather. Many of you feel that way this January, right? Like you're locked out. You're outside in the cold. Like you don't feel like, for whatever reason, you're telling yourself like it's not possible for me to get completely on a holistic health journey. You know, in terms of like what's appropriate for myself. I always got to keep some toxic something in my camp. And for what? Because I believe at this time, the universe is not allowing those excuses anymore. You know, that employee that is fucking god awful, like the trauma bond of it all.